Okay, Lena, let's see what you got. Jump test, new trainers.
Yes, let's do that.
Exciting. Get out the shot.
Was that all right?
Stewart here from Drone Film Guide, the channel where we learn to fly like filmmakers out in the wilderness. The dream team back in action, myself and Alina, and we are bringing to you our version of the superhero jump effect that we first saw on Ryan Nangle's channel. Do check out his version. He took inspiration from elsewhere. Also, a really cool technique. If you want to get really into the editing of this, he's got a pretty good description of it also, so check out his link down below. To make this happen, we need 3 clips that we will then blend together. Shot number 1, jump up with the drone's camera pointed downwards. The resulting shot will look something like this, and most of you should manage it without falling on your backside. Shot number 2, fly the drone straight upwards with the camera pointed down at the ground. With this bird's eye perspective, you'll simulate the superhero jump effect, and then we do a gimbal tilt up to reveal the location of said jump. Shot number 3, lie on a blue or green piece of fabric, point the camera down your body and waggle your legs around. As you'll see shortly, we'll remove that blue background with the keyer effect, and we'll lift those legs over onto that bird's eye drone shot to simulate the superhuman jump. Putting this all together in post will be so much easier if you film well on the day, so here are some things we learnt the hard way. First things first, do grab yourself a copy of our free ebook From Drone Zero to Drone Hero, 37 tips to get you flying like a filmmaker. Crammed full of useful information, it really is a great starting point for you to get the most out of your drone. It's free, so grab yourself a copy in the link below. Tip number 1, use the same camera for all of the shots. The essence of this technique is blending 3 completely different shots into one and making them look continuous. Initially, we used a GoPro for Alina's jump, and then for the rocket superhuman part of it, we used the Mavic 2 Pro. Mindful that there's different focal lengths there, but we thought we would just blend it all and fix it all in post. It really didn't look good at all and created a whole bunch of headaches, so we had to go back up to the top of this hill to shoot again, this time entirely with the Mavic Air 2. All 3 component parts of this were filmed with the drone, and that made the job of blending all the pieces together in post so much easier. Tip number 2, be aware of the shadows. Inconsistent shadows will ruin the effect of any green screen shot pretty quickly. As you can see here from this shot of Alina actually jumping, there's a great big shadow across her chest. This real shot has to blend as seamlessly as possible with this composite shot of Alina's legs on the blue screen and the drone shot underneath, and to do so we simulated the shadow across her chest to get as good a match as possible. This actually caused us quite a lot of hassle when shooting, so I'd actually recommend that you shoot on an overcast, dull day when there won't be hard shadows across your body. Step number 3, start small. Rather than just straight up copy Ryan's excellent example, we wanted to add to it somewhat, and one way of doing this was to have Alina's body feature more prominently in the frame. As you can see, Ryan's legs are quite small there, especially on the way down. The reality was, however, that by having Alina fill so much of the frame, it made the matching process even harder. So if in doubt, just film your legs at the start and maybe do a separate take of your whole body. Let's check out how to edit this all together. Now, regulars will notice we've covered this video in cool jazzy new titles and arrows and all kinds of things. We've got a plugin called Total Graphics Pack for Final Cut Pro, and it's really added significantly because Final Cut Pro, I have to say, is not very good as standard when it comes to nice titles, transitions, all the rest of it. So do check that out. It's for Final Cut Pro, but it's actually building on the success of the plugin that they had for Premiere Pro, which, as you can see, has bucket loads of 5-star reviews, and the new version for Final Cut Pro has gone down the same route and has been very well received. Also, link in the description. Here we've got the 3 component parts inside Final Cut Pro. We've got the jump, we've got the drone shot, and we've got the blue screen. All these shots require a little bit of preparation to get us going. For the blue screen clip, simply add the keyer effect and remove the background. We've already shown you a few great setups for doing a green screen and blue screen studio at home, so do check out the links above. The drone shot needs speeded up and retimed to simulate what it would actually be like to jump like a superhero, so press Command R for retiming options. You can also create speed ramps for smooth transitions between the speeds of sections by pressing Shift R. You will need to play around with those depending on your jump profile. As for the jump itself, we need to find a good place to cut for blending that ground shot with the drone shot that then has those blue screen legs overlaid. And this is where the challenge comes, and this is why we gave you those tips to film as well as possible on the day itself. As for the drone shot, this was about the best match we could achieve. You can see it's not perfect, there's a bit of a rotation, but we'll get by with this. Drag the blue screen legs on top of the drone clip. And again, we now need to find a good place to cut to match with that ground clip. Now this was the best that we could get. You'll see it's not perfect, but we'll make some adjustments later to better hide that transition. The final modification we need to make to the legs is to drag them out of the shot as the drone gimbal tilts up. This is done pretty simply on the transform panel. We add a couple of keyframes in and just pull those legs out of the shot using the Y-axis. So that's you going up into the air. To have you coming back down, simply select all of those clips, create a compound clip, duplicate it, and then reverse that clip. We go to Modify, Retime, and Reverse. So let's see what we've got so far. Pretty good. A little bit jerky, but I think it looks pretty good. And on the way back down, let's see how the landing looks pretty good as well. You could actually stop there, but let's tie it all together with some effects. First up, we're going to add some motion blur. I got this motion blur plugin from Ryan Nangle's site. I've used it a lot over the last year or two. Simply drag it down on top of the clip as you would a title, stretch it out as desired, and that adds motion blur. Check this out, with motion blur, without motion blur. It really creates a fantastic sense of speed that wasn't there naturally. Depending on how well you shot on the day and blended your clips in post, you might still have a bit of a ropey transition like I have to say we do here. So a good way of obscuring that essentially is adding a handheld shake effect to the entire piece. It gives it a slightly more user-generated iPhone-y type look, and it does a good job of just distracting from any imperfections in your compositing. Finally, color grade the clip just to pull it all together and you are done. I hope you enjoyed that, folks. I'm sure many of you will do a much better job of this than we did, so do let us know how you get on in the comments below. Grab yourself a copy of our free ebook From Drone Zero to Drone Hero, and we will see you next time.